Hey there, welcome to the Millennial Book Junkie. My name is Monique. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today, I'm going to be talking about cozy thrillers to read in the winter. Right now, I'm filming this. It is January 2026, and where I live in California, it has been raining nonstop. We actually have a few more days of rain coming up, and we are in the winter season full swing now. So, I thought it would be a good idea to share some books, some thrillers specifically, that you could read during this cozy winter season. So if you're like me, you like to read thrillers year round, and especially when it's cold outside, very atmospheric. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 thrillers you can read during this winter season. So it's been a minute. I know I haven't put up a video in a while, but I'm happy to be back and sharing some really interesting reads for you. The first book that I would recommend for the winter season, or if you just wish it were winter season, is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. I just read this book a couple months ago and I really enjoyed it. It's about a woman who joins a writing retreat in a really faraway place, like in a secluded mansion, and it's run by this best-selling woman author. Every year she invites 4 women to come to stay with her at this like big mansion house that's like really far away in the hills, and they are like secluded there for a month and they write. And at the end of the month, one of them gets to be published with this author's by this author's agent, just in general published, so it's like a dream come true for these women who go up there for this retreat. Well, for our main character, Alex, this retreat is a little more than she bargained for. She goes up to this retreat and it is snowing. So here's where the winter aspect creeps in. It's snowing, there's no Wi-Fi, the phones are out, and they're completely secluded in this mansion and they have to write their books. And there's no civilization for miles, and the snow is coming down, and essentially, they're there because they want to be, but they are trapped there. So if you want to read something that has heavily featured snow in a trapped mansion and somebody goes missing, this is definitely one to pick up because that's exactly what happens. I really enjoyed this book. I wouldn't say it was like amazing, amazing. I think I gave it like a 4 star. It was just good. It was a little twisty and I really enjoyed the atmosphere. And I personally am trying to finish up my novel. So I really resonated with the characters having to write as fast as they could in a month to finish up their book. So I think this is a really good one to read when it's cold outside. The next book I want to recommend for the cold winter season is Alice Feeney's Rock, Paper, Scissors. So many of you thriller readers out there have already read this book, I'm sure, but this is one I always think of during the holidays when it gets cold. I read this one a year or so ago and I really, really liked it. Essentially, it's about this couple who is having problems in their marriage and they win this trip to Scotland for like a winter getaway, and just driving out there, it is like blizzard, it is snow. They get to this getaway, there is no one there, it's just them and their problems, and it's snowing outside so much where basically they can't go somewhere else. Like they get there, they're freezing, and they can't drive away anywhere else because the snow is just so much coming down. So this book too is really good because the husband in this book is experiencing a condition that I probably can't pronounce, but it's essentially face blindness. So he doesn't recognize his own wife. And when you have that kind of condition in a thriller, there's all kinds of possibilities for twists. So this one has a lot of them. They're there celebrating their anniversary, and every year the wife writes a letter to her husband on their anniversary that she does not give him, but now they're having all these problems. He doesn't, recognize her face. There's just a lot of stuff that goes on in this book that is very twisty. Throughout this whole book, I literally thought that I knew what was going on. I absolutely did not. And every time I think of this book, I just get cold. So if you're living in a cold area and you're looking for a thriller where you really won't figure out the twist, highly likely that you won't figure out the twist, you might like this one. The next book I would recommend reading this winter is A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. This book was my first Kate Alice Marshall. I think it came out in January of 2025 is when it came out, but I just read it a few months ago. This is about a woman who goes on a winter retreat with, I think it's her fiance or this man that she is really close to and wanting to marry. But anyway, she goes to this winter retreat to like his family mansion. I know there's like a lot of mansions in the snow in this one, but basically, she goes on this winter retreat with her boyfriend or fiance's family, and she's meeting them for the first time. And basically, she gets there, and weird stuff starts happening. The weirdest of which is that she actually finds a picture of herself in the area where she's staying when she was a little girl, and that sends her down this journey of figuring out like why she's there, why a picture of her is there, and what her history is in relation to this man and his family who she's just meeting for the first time. So this one I found was good. It wasn't, like I said, like the best thriller you're ever going to read, but if you just want something easy to read that's a little twisty and you're like, what's going on here? It's cold. I would pick this one up. I enjoyed it. It was an entertaining read, and I've never read any Kate Ellis Marshall, and I like her. I'll probably read more of her books. So this next one you want to read if you're in a rainy season. If you're in California, you're not getting much snow, I'll tell you that, but you will get rain. And if you're in the winter season and you get in some rain, a good one to pick up is The Chill by Scott Carson. Every time I think of this book, I just think of water. That's all I think of. This book is about this reservoir that was built in upstate New York, and it was built over a small village called Galesburg. So basically, they had to submerge this small village in order to make way for this big reservoir. And the people who used to live in this small village were not very happy about being submerged. And essentially it's kind of like a ghost story that where the ghost wants to get revenge kind of story. So if you like that kind of tale where the ancestors are kind of like upset about what happened to them and seeking revenge on the modern day people, you will love this book. And I loved the characters in this book. They were really developed, and also the relationship between the father and the son in this book is kind of fraught in the beginning, but then you see how much they love each other. I really enjoyed it. It was scary as well, very scary. So I really liked this book. It was my first Scott Carson. I think I read it 2 years ago now, but it was good. And it was very, very wet. Very, very rainy and water everywhere. So if you're in the rain and you're looking for a little something atmospheric, you'll want to pick this one up. The last book I want to share with you is a book I just read recently called We Live Here Now by Sarah Pinborough. Now, she's the one that wrote Behind Her Eyes. I never read that book, but I loved the series. So I was really excited to pick this one up. I actually got this one from the library last month. And this one is about a woman who is in a coma for a while. And she wakes up and her husband is like, darling, we need a fresh start. Let's move to the country. Let's move to that country house that you've been raving about. And she's like, was I raving about a country house? I just got out of a coma, if you say so. So they go to this country house, and she's kind of in this post-sepsis state where her doctors have told her that she might hallucinate. She might think that things are there when they're not. So, of course, she goes to this house and she starts seeing weird things, books falling off shelves, just kind of like weird things that are happening on their own, doors creaking, that kind of thing. And she's like, is this real or am I just post sepsis? And essentially, things just get a little crazy from there. Their marriage starts to kind of fall apart, and you kind of are wondering, is this house really haunted? And how is it even related to her marriage? And what's going to happen at the end with her and her husband? So this one, I will say, it's not necessarily like, oh, there's all this like snow everywhere, but it's just cold. This whole book, like when you're reading it, you just feel cold. It's like a dark, cold thriller. I guess it would be more categorized like a gothic thriller of some sort, but like it's really, I want to say cold. There are scenes where I'm pretty sure that it's snowing outside, but just when I think of books to read when it gets dark at 5 p.m., like that kind of vibe, I think of this book, especially, and it's so fresh in my mind because I just read it. This one is perfect for dark season. I will tell you that. This one is perfect if you are like, it's 5 p.m., I want to go to sleep, but I also want to read. Read this one. Very dark. You will be entertained by the twist. I will tell you that. And so that's it. Those are the books that I recommend so far for cozy winter thrillers. If I have more next year, I'll share those. But those are the ones that I've read like in the last year and a half that I could definitely imagine myself reading again during winter season. So let me know if you've read any of those. Let me know if you want to read any of those. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing if you do. And I hope you have a wonderful winter season. Stay warm, keep reading, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.